the Barclays PLC Group CEO, Jess Staley, announced his intention that the bank was going to reduce its shareholding in Barclays Africa Group Limited to a level which will permit them to deconsolidate from an accounting and regulatory perspective. And all this is subject to shareholder and regulatory approval. This process will be done over the next 2 to 3 years. And I thought it might be useful if I give you some background around Barclays Africa Group Limited, because I think this is helpful. Barclays Africa Group was formed in 2013 and is currently one of the biggest banking groups across the continent. And to just share a few headline numbers as to the size of Barclays Africa Group Limited, we have 12 million customers across 12 countries. We have 42,000 employees that work for the group. They have approximately 6.2 trillion Kenya shillings worth of assets. They have over 1,200 branches and over 10,000 ATMs. Their revenue for 2015 is equivalent to 415 billion Kenya shillings, and they generated a profit in 2015 of in excess of 90 billion Kenya shillings equivalent. So I think, as you can see, Barclays Africa is clearly a substantive player on the African continent. And just by way of shareholding, Barclays PLC owns 62.3% of Barclays Africa Group Limited, and they in turn hold 68.5% of Barclays Bank Kenya, and as well as stakes in 11 other African markets that they operate in. So I think in response to the announcement by Barclays PLC this morning, the Barclays board have noted that it's clear that Barclays PLC is reducing its shareholding in Barclays due to recently introduced regulatory burdens which are specific and particular to Barclays PLC as a UK headquartered and globally significant financial institution. Just to give you an idea of the impact of some of the numbers, due to some of these regulatory and capital requirements, Barclays Africa Group this morning announced their results, and in their results, the return on equity on a standalone basis for the group in Africa was 17%. But the reported results in Barclays PLC's African operations was 8.7% ROE. And that difference is explained by some of the capital levies and other charges that are in place in the United Kingdom. So you can see that just that difference alone, how we've almost halved the ROE in translating that money from profits within Africa to profits within the UK. And I think what's very important is that Jess Staley has really reiterated in his announcement that the decision was driven entirely by regulatory pressures that Barclays PLC faces, including the level of capital that they're required to hold in respect of their shareholding in Barclays Africa. It's not a reflection of the quality of the African business or its strategic direction or any of the African markets. And I really reiterate that is important. It was driven by regulatory pressures and the amounts of capital that it would have to apply to its African business. Now, also at Barclays Africa Group, as I said earlier, reported their 2015 results, and Maria Ramos, Chief Executive Officer of Barclays Africa Group, reiterated the future of Barclays Africa is very bright, and our ambitions to be Barclays, to be Africa's leading bank remain unchanged. We are strong, well-capitalized, and independently funded business with our destiny firmly in our own hands. The way is now clear for us to shape an exciting future using our strong balance sheet to invest for growth. And I'd like to make it very clear that any decisions concerning the operations of Barclays Kenya can only be made by Barclays Africa Group Limited in consultation with other investors and shareholders in this business. Consequently, the announcement does not impact the shareholding and ownership of Barclays Bank of Kenya and will not have any impact on the day-to-day running of our business or on our customers, clients, and colleagues in Kenya. And I think that's a very important point that I think we all need to be aware of. As you're aware, Barclays Bank Kenya is a profitable institution currently in its 100th year of operation in this country. As an institution, Barclays Bank Kenya has in the past century evolved through various transitions and remained a strong business of high repute. Barclays Bank of Kenya has best-in-class ratios on capital, liquidity, and non-performing loans, which ensures we are able to deliver value to all our stakeholders. Our institution is founded on and governed by clear structures and sound business practices that have ensured our successful existence in this country for the last century. We remain committed to delivering our growth strategy, which is anchored on offering excellent service to our customers and value for our shareholders.